Hello, this is Kelly Phillips for paperbeadrollers.com. Hello and welcome to paperbeadrollers.com. This is our basic bead rolling tutorial. And why are we making beads out of paper anyway? Well, look at this beautiful jewelry in front of us. We have this wonderful little flower pendant. All of these are paper beads with some seed beads and a decorative bead right there. And then this is all paper beads and seed beads as well. We have some cardstock beads that were rolled from cardstock, seed beads in between those. This is a recycled cardboard bead that's been painted and just looks beautiful. So that's why we like to recycle materials and we like to make our own jewelry that matches exactly the outfit that we want and express some creativity in a wonderful hobby. So let's take a look at some different paper beads that I've done. So paper beads can be all sizes and shapes. This was actually done from a poster board and covered in glaze, so it's nice and hard. These types were done from cardstock generally, and you've got some little tiny ones like this, some thin ones like that. This was done from recycled cardboard that I then painted. Here's one from recycled cardboard that I didn't paint. This is actually what the container originally looked like on the outside. So you can do all kinds of different things here, from cylinder beads to diamond beads. There's really no limit. The only limit you have is your imagination and your materials. So really, you can do just about anything with paper beads. So the first thing that you want to have is a paper strip. And this paper strip you can get, you can use cardstock that you buy from the store. You can use recycled newspaper and magazines, although those are very thin materials and make a very small bead. And then you can also use thicker papers and cardboard, all kinds of things. Really anything that's a paper that is thin enough to roll can make a bead. So first we have our paper strip, and then we need a bead roller. And at paperbeadrollers.com you can buy different sizes. These are 4 of the sizes that we have. We do have a few more sizes. All of our bead rollers are color coded, and you can see on the website. This blue one is a 1/8 inch. This is the most popular bead roller. The measurement refers to the size of the barrel here, the size of the slotted pin, and this is the size of the core of your bead. So this is a good beginner size, the blue. And then we go down here, we've got some smaller, thinner ones and some larger ones, and you can get all of those details on the website. We are going to start with the blue, the 1/8 inch. That is our best and easiest to use when you're first learning. So we have about a 1/4 inch here, and we cut it down to a point. There are different shapes. Your shape dictates the kind of bead you have. This is the most common shape, so we're going to start with that for our basic bead rolling tutorial. So we're going to take our bead roller, and there is a slot in this end. All you have to do is take the flat end, slide it into the slot, and start to roll. Now you want to pull tight, but not so tight that you're having trouble rolling or that your hands hurt. This is not something that you need to put a lot of pressure on. You just want it tight enough that the bead rolls snug. You also don't want to pull it too tight, because if you pull it too tight, you're not going to be able to get your bead off of the metal barrel. So you shouldn't have to put enough pressure that your hand starts to hurt after a few beads. It should be nice and gentle, but firm. And you want to try to roll this right in the center. The more centered you can get it, you can unroll it. Look at that. You can unroll and roll it back up just to get just the right positioning. And this, of course, with practice, you get very good at this. I can sit and do this while I'm watching TV, not even pay a whole lot of attention to what I'm doing here, and they come out nice. Another good thing is, these are handmade beads. Not every bead is going to be exactly the same. They're not all going to be perfect, and that's kind of the beauty of it. Okay, now, when you get down to this last little bit, you have to glue the paper down. And you have a few choices. So you can use regular white school glue, which is very common. You can also use glue stick, although I find that doesn't work as well. You can use a nice heavy craft glue. Here's my Tombow Mono, which is very strong glue. It works very quickly. And for projects where I'm using very thick paper, I like to use the glue dots, the glue dot tape. Just rub it right on and it holds things a little better. That's because the stiffer the paper, the harder it is to get it to stick down. And if you use something like the white school glue, you might be holding your bead for a little while, waiting for it to dry. But on this regular cardstock paper that I have, the white school glue is perfect. It gets a little messy sometimes, but that's okay. So if you have a little extra like I do on my thumb, I usually just go around like this. It's fine. It will dry clear. It's the beauty of school glue, right? Don't have to worry about it. And that's it. My bead is done. So I do want to wait for this to dry, but I don't have to wait. I can pop it off. Just take your thumb and your fingernail and just pop it right off. And there you go. And then let that dry. Once it's dry, you're ready for the last step, which is glazing. So glazing is very important because it makes the bead stand up to jewelry, to wearing it on your skin. So this is a finished bead that is glazed. You can see that it's shiny. It's hard. I cannot squeeze it with my thumb and break it or anything like that. It's not completely waterproof. If it were dunked in water, it would dissolve on you, especially because the inside is not glazed. But it holds up very well to just daily use. So that's what we want to do, is we want to go ahead and glaze this. So the glaze that we're using, I like to use this Judykins Diamond Glaze, and you can purchase this from us on Amazon. The diamond glaze is nice because it dries very hard. You cannot use just any glaze that you find at the craft store. Most of them will absorb into the paper. It won't make them hard enough and the bead will collapse. So I highly recommend the Judykins. So what I'm going to do is I just have an orange stick here. You can use a barbecue stick, a toothpick, whatever you want. I'm going to stick the bead on it. And you may have noticed when I stuck my bead on there, the bead shifted a little, so one side's pointier. You actually have a little bit of play in here. You can kind of reshape your bead as you're going before you glaze it. So that looks about perfect. I like that. All right, all you need now is a little bit of the glaze. And I've got some right here in my cup. And a paintbrush. And you just want to coat the bead. Now, I generally, for jewelry, will do 2 coats of the diamond glaze. I once made a bead purse and I used 4 coats of the diamond glaze, and those beads actually ended up looking like plastic. They were so nice. So you have to experiment and just see what kind of look you like. The more glaze you put on, the more your beads will look like plastic versus looking like a glazed paper. Okay, so that's it. I would wait for this to dry and put a second coat on, and then my bead is finished and ready to go onto my jewelry. I will give you one little tip. Be careful not to get the glaze onto the wood right here, because if you do and it dries, you won't be able to get your bead off of your stick, or you'll be able to pull the outside and the bead will unravel. So just try to be really clear about the edges there when you're glazing. And that's it. And after that, you'll get a beautiful, shiny bead. It looks something like that.